Best thing that we can say about Duke Nukem Forever is that you're not obligated to play it. The only way this game would get a 5 is if our scale went up to 100.
Duke Nukem? Yeah, my kid's a real big fan.
Nice try, but nobody under 30 knows who Duke Nukem is. After being delayed for over a decade, the real surprise of the game is how joyless it is. Advertisements promise a balls-to-the-wall, action-packed experience, but what you actually get is a dated mess that features twitchy moments, glitchy graphics, and if you're lucky, 3 enemies on screen at once.
What about the game, Duke? Was it any good?
Despite all the time of development, the only thing the developer succeeded in is crafting a relentlessly dull game that's punctuated by lame sexual innuendo.
So tiny. I know right where I'd stick him.
That dialogue is really clever. So let me make sure it didn't sail over everyone's heads. You see, Duke's been shrunk down, and the woman in the scene is implying that she would insert Duke into her vagina. That's an example of a joke in Duke Nukem Forever. It's rare that the word pathetic can be used to describe a video game, but in this case, it applies. Duke Nukem Forever is like that obnoxious guy at work who tells really lame, unfunny jokes, and everyone just tries their best to avoid him.
I'm bringing sexy back.
But stale level design is the game's worst offender. You travel down a linear path and occasionally get stalled so that waves of exactly 3 bad guys at a time can attack you.
Size only matters when you're full grown, baby.
Sure, if this had been released a decade ago, people would have been impressed by the technology. But you could say the same thing about Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. By charging $60, the game makers are directly inviting comparison with full-fledged modern releases. If this had been a budget downloadable game, it would have been an odd curiosity, but a full-price retail release is going to be considered as such. Multiplayer feels like an afterthought. Deathmatch and Capture the Babe are extremely laggy and the controls are unresponsive. Let me be clear, on those merits alone, Duke would get a terrible score. But we'd like to address one other area that's troubling: the game's creepy, hateful view of women. In one particularly disturbing scene, you come across women sobbing in the alien nest. They're naked and bound to the walls, and the implication is they've been forcibly impregnated by the alien creatures. What's really problematic and troubling is this is all played for laughs.
Duke, we'll get the weight off in like a week, we swear.
Sorry, babe. It's better this way.
I'm done with this. Here's your score. A 1 out of 5.